How do you feel about him wearing it anyways?
Well, I'm happy. It's always good to see people repping the Tide. So, especially those Georgia boys. It's always good to see them in some Alabama gear.
So what got him to wear it?
They lost. They got beat.
He just pledged to do that if they lost?
Yeah. So usually, how the rivals do. Like we can't bet like what we want to bet. So we'll tell them like, yo, like if y'all lose, y'all gotta wear, our attire and vice versa. So they lost, so they gotta wear Alabama gear for the whole day.
Like that. How are you feeling about this week, the Rams, and just kind of where the rushing game is in general?
I'm feeling good about it. And I just feel like we're on the doorstep to just really getting the run game popping, and no better opportunity than this week to just get it popping off.
What have you learned about Christian's work ethic, his game, and just how he attacks everything?
He's very consistent. He shows up to work every single day, and that's the reason why he's who he is and why he's a great player. He's super consistent, and he's always into just sharpening his craft. I've just been able to watch him do that. In the time that I've been here, and it's been good.
Do you guys have to prepare differently at all, considering you don't know who the quarterback is quite yet?
No, I think the preparation stay the same. Like, we just got to focus on what's being installed and how we got to do our job, as a team. And regardless of what quarterback is in the game, we got to do our part in the game.
Kind of short week turnaround. What have you noticed so far? What have you done differently so far?
It's a fast tempo. We're learning third down, short yardage at the same time. We're learning first and second down. So trying to just learn the playbook as best as I can, especially going into this week, learning the game plan. So just trying to adapt to it for the short week.
And how are you feeling physically just with the short week too?
Me personally, I feel good. I always make sure to stay on top of my body and make sure I'm good each and every week. So I feel healthy, and I'm ready to go on Thursday.
How do you feel like you're adjusting to the system? I mean, each week you're making a play out there. So how do you feel like you're going and adjusting and progressing within the system?
I feel I'm progressing fast. I feel I'm going out there and playing confident. I feel I got the playbook down. Obviously, there's looks I'm going to have to learn on the fly, but I feel I'm adjusting fine. I feel I need to play better than what I have been, even though I have been playing good, but I feel I hold myself to a higher standard, so I want to play to that standard.
This is one of the first times you're playing against an older quarterback. Is it sort of a pinch me moment when you see Matt Stafford over there?
I wouldn't say a pinch me moment, but I've been watching him for a long time, so he's been in the game for a long time, so he's going to find ways to pick me out, and I'm going to have to counter that. So he's a skilled quarterback, and I'm going to be a skilled DB.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brock and Mac were just talking about the Rams defensive line. I mean, probably from a pass rush perspective, but just the spirit and I guess the relentlessness that they play with. I mean, what sticks out to you when you look at them?
Yeah, I think just that. They play well together. They play hard, not just in pass rush, but in the run game, and they tie it all together. So definitely a big challenge that we're going to have to keep an eye on.
What's the key on a short week to prepare?
I'll just be extremely diligent mentally. Take care of your body, get back to 100% as quick as possible, but just make sure you're continuing to go over everything because there's a lot to install all at once. And, just got to, in order to play sound football in a short week, you just got to mentally be locked in.
Your first gets cut out of your routine.
Say again?
What gets cut out of your routine in a short week?
3 days.
Your first full game with this team, or first game where you had a full week of prep, was down at SoFi, and you had all those touchdowns in different fashions. How busy was that week of preparation and looking back on it in retrospect?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was definitely a blur of a week. It was good to get a full week instead of just 2 days when I first got here for the Chiefs game. So it was great to get a full week, and a lot of credit to Bobby T and a lot of the coaches who helped me get there because it's a lot to install and a lot to learn in a week. But I remember it was a great feeling, great winning locker room after that game, and we had a bye after that too, so I could kind of get my bearings.
Were you surprised that they were even able to install a trick play, given just how hectic that must have been?
No, I mean, that's, those ones are easy to remember. It's they stick out whenever you're installing them, so I was prepared for that.
Have you ever had a season or even a stretch of a season like this one where the receiving yards are outpacing your rushing yards in the way they are right now?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the numbers.
Is it different at all to prepare for a team that you play every year, a couple of years? The coaches have been at each place for a long time. You guys know a lot about each other. Does that make it any easier at all to prepare?
I mean, nothing's, easier necessarily. I just think for, when you play a divisional opponent that you know and they know you, it just comes down to being sound, playing mistake-free football and then mindset.
Christian, I know the answer is you can always be better and improve, et cetera, but I mean, it's another run game question, but I mean, when you look at it, I mean, there often doesn't seem to be tons of room, for you to roam, but do you see opportunities like, should I miss this? Or, I mean, do you put it, like, how much do you think, I don't know, could you be better to help this run game?
Definitely. I think, whether or not you're leading the league in rushing or not, you can always be better. Every runner was going to say the same thing. So I definitely think, we can all be better. I can be better, and, we're close though.
Christian, I saw the clip that you had on George's show where you thought you were going to be traded to the Rams. At that time, was that something that was exciting to you? And then how quick was the emotion to be traded here instead?
It was such a blur, and I had heard so many different things that I tried to just focus on being where my feet were, because I still didn't know whether or not I was going to get traded. Like, I practiced Wednesday and Thursday for the Panthers, and then I'd heard rumors, but I'm still preparing to play for a team, and so it was kind of a weird, mental situation to be in. And I just said, whatever happens, happens. I stopped reading into, what people were saying, and just, whatever was going to happen was going to happen. And obviously, when I came here, I was extremely thrilled.
Is it a weird mental space, just out of curiosity, to be in when the run game is kind of struggling, and then you're coming off a loss going down against a rival? Is it the same there or not really?
You mean like?
Are you like thinking and reflecting on like, what am I, or what can I do to change the way we're producing in the run game, or what can this person do, or what can we do as a team? Are you mentally reflecting on that going into this one?
I think, look, I've had stretches in the run game where I've had like 35 yards rushing, then 40, then 38, and then, it feels like you can't run the ball, and those are in the middle of the season. But the reality of the situation isn't always, that's not always the truth. And sometimes you are just one guy off, or sometimes you are an arm tackle away from breaking a couple long ones, and all of a sudden you have big games, and you just don't know when that's going to happen. So I try to just correct mistakes and capitalize on strengths. But each game is different, and in the run game, each play has a life of its own. And so you can't predict, you can't think that it's going to be one way or another. You have to, treat it as that, treat it as, one play at a time.
Good. Oh, really? Okay. Well, I like to be like up to stat one day.
Actually,
Hall of Famers.
I'm a dip right. No, I'm not.
Uh-oh. Here, go ahead. Move
I'm going
that.
to try to pull some acrobatics, but it's okay. Sure. Yeah, let's
What's
talk.
the change in your approach on a short week? Anything changed for you?
I guess it's just less days. You got to cram a lot of things in only a couple days of prep. Getting the body back is number one. Usually it takes all 6 days to get ready get your body ready for a game on the next Sunday. And so how can you find a way to expedite that process on a short week?
It's better, like if you're going to have a loss like you did Sunday, that it is a short week?
Yeah, of course you'd rather win, on a short week, but no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, it is good to, try to find a way to get that bad taste out of your mouth and, get back right back out there.
You've been watching Puka for a lot of years. How have you seen his game grow from his looks on the BYU?
Something about those BYU guys, man. He so happy for him. Hopefully, this is his worst outing of the year, and it can continue his success later on. But he just does all the little things that most receivers don't, like just as small as getting involved in the run game, the way that he run blocks, the run after catch, when he has great hands to be able to transition when he does catch the ball, and then running through contact. the energy that he plays with, I know is inspirational to his teammates. And so, yeah, man, he's done a phenomenal job just only in a short amount of time.
When you watched this kind of ceiling for him from back when you saw him in college, or is this exceeding even what you thought he would do?
No, I think nobody could have seen this type of success that he's seen. Only he knows that. Only he knew that, right? I think the Rams probably saw something in him, but it'd be silly to say that anybody would have thought that he'd be as great as he's been.
You know him pretty well.
Yeah, I played with his older brother, Kanakua, at BYU for 3 years. So me and Puka had some conversations right before the draft. Yeah, great kid.
What do you think has enabled him to take what you saw from him in college and translate it to this kind of success in the NFL?
I think a big part of it as a young player is like having the confidence of knowing that you belong. I think that's literally just the start of it all because just speaking from experience, when I came in, it was like so overwhelming playing against guys that I had watched on TV for so long, and it's like, do I really belong? And so for him, I think from day one, he was out there, I think had back-to-back games of like 10-plus receptions, right? And it was a guy that Matt Stafford could rely on from day one, which spoke to his preparation level. Even having a guy like Matt Stafford rely on him with a guy like Cooper Kupp being out there just spoke to how ready he was for his moment. And he's continued to obviously stay humble and finding ways to get better in his game through his first, 3 years.
As far as wide receivers, where does he rank in difficulty to tackle, bring down to the ground? I don't think you've ever had a chance to tackle Debo. Right?
Yeah, no, me and Debo had our little thuds in practice and whatnot. But no, Puka, I truly believe that's one of the things that makes him special is his willingness to seek out contact as a receiver. You don't hear that a lot about receivers around the league, and I think obviously you spoke about Debo, and he's another one of those guys that's not afraid to seek it out. So, yeah, man, I don't know, something about BYU, Polynesian combination, something like that.
Speaking, are there parallels between, would your former teammates or guys who watch you in college, would they be surprised at the success you've had? Are there parallels between you and Puka?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be shocked if somebody were to tell me, hey, yeah, I watched Fred at BYU and I knew he'd be good in the NFL. It's like, nobody really knows until you're there doing it, right? Puka, was drafted in the 5th round, and he's a superstar, already. So it completely speaks to his work and what he's been able to do behind the scenes that people probably don't see. So it's all kudos to him.
Fred, because you mentioned having that moment when you were young of feeling you didn't know if you belonged when you played against guys that you grew up watching, and some guys in the locker room this time around who will be out there with you kind of in the same position, what was it that clicked for you to help you feel like you belonged, and are you having those conversations with them heading into this one?
I mean, it was a matter of just making big plays, in the NFL, to know like, all right, so I know I can do it, and then just the consistency of it all and trying to see how far you could take it. I know a lot of these guys have way more confidence in their abilities than I did back at that time, so they're in a much better position to continue to thrive in our scheme and in what they're doing for our team.
Do you remember your reaction when he was taken by the Rams, and did his brother send you a text or anything, like take it easy on him?
No, I don't remember much. Heck of a player, man. Hopefully, like I said, worst game against us this week. All right, yeah, you got it.